Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is chapter 94 of Heard You Like Me, and this one is titled Assistance. With a quick flip of your head and a sharp bite down, you managed to break one side of the watch and it came loose of her wrist, falling free and allowing you to race off with it. Keeping your teeth firmly clamped around it, you kept it with you and took off, making a mad dash for the door, but seeing it closed made you spin the other way and run for a window. But then there everything was shut tight as well. "Stop! Stop!" the girl wailed as she tried to chase you over the beds and side tables, but the other animals were now getting in the way too. Seeing that you had taken an action against this person had them trusting your instincts and acting out as well. "What do I do? What do I do?" You panicked as you dodged here and there. "What do I do?" For the foreseeable future, you just saw yourself running forevermore, unable to break the curse, but also unable to stop and give the watch back, since you felt like the watch was significant. You kept away from the girl, your sides heaving as the minutes ticked by. It was coming close to 20 minutes since you had started running, and you were getting exhausted. You could see the girl was tiring too, and she stopped in her tracks and bent over, one hand on her knee to try and steady herself to get a deep enough breath. Unfortunately, it was while she was bent over trying to catch her breath that Danky Bunny poked his head out from under the bed to see what was going on, and in one swift movement she grabbed onto him and wrapped her hand tightly around his little middle. "Okay, fine," she panted out. "If I can't have all of you, then I'll just take the cutest one." You stopped at the other end of the room from her, still with watch in your mouth. "So you're only able to save one?" Mina asked curiously, unable to understand what the girl meant by this. "Yes," she said as she stood up straight and held Danky Bunny with both hands, Simba style, up above her head with her arms straight. "Ow, ow, ah, she's squeezing me," you heard Danky's inner voice gasp in pain. "Ouch, I can't breathe, my ribs," he squealed. She's going to kill him, you thought, growling with the watch in your mouth still. You weren't sure if you were playing into her hands by running at her, but you couldn't just stand by and let her kill Danky. And so with another flying leap you threw yourself at her, using your claws to scratch down both her arms and make her let go of Danky. She had initially tried to lure you in by causing him pain, but this was going to be her end goal anyway, causing him pain, so for her it was going to be a win-win, but she had grossly underestimated the nimbleness of a cat and ended up dropping Danky in the process, failing to grab you, and both you and Danky scrambled to get away from her again. It was while you were at your maddest that you managed to actually bite through her watch, and as your sharp little teeth pierced the glass casing over the face of it, you felt like life was flowing back into you, and you heard her gasp and scream, and you looked down to see your body slowly morphing back into human form. "No!" she screamed at you. "You feral cat! I had you all! I could have had you all!" "Yin, watch out!" you heard Momo's voice, and you lifted your eyes up from your being just in time to see her throwing herself at you. She tackled you and sank her teeth into your arm, making you hiss with pain as you were thrown backwards, and you wrestled with her until Momo came running over to assist and made some rope with her quirk to tie this girl up. Poor Mina had no idea what was going on, and was just holding the torch steady so that this girl could be apprehended, but she was also feeling bad that she had almost assisted a villain, basically. "Yin, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what was going on. I thought she was going to help," she apologised to you once you had gotten up, your left hand wrapped around your right arm over the spot where she had bitten you. "It's okay. You weren't to know," you said, looking down at yourself, then looking around at the others in the room. "We're all kinda okay again?" Mina said as she looked up at your head. "Well, not quite." "What do you mean?" you asked her, reaching a hand up to feel the top of your head. Perched on top of your head were two fluffy cat ears, and your face showed your surprise. "Wait, what?" you asked no one in particular, as you ran your fingers around their edge and then pinched them to see if they were real. "Ow, that feels weird," you commented, pulling your hand back down and looking at your hand that had little blood on it from the bite from your arm. "Okay, so I got the ears still. That's, cool, I guess." Mina hummed cautiously. "I think you might also have a..." You saw something moving behind you from the corner of your eye and turned your head to spot an orange and white fluffy thing behind you, and you turned to see what it was, but when you moved it disappeared behind you the more you moved with it. "Wait, is that a tail?" you asked with more surprise as you reached back to feel for it. "Bro, oh my god, my pants have a massive rip in them," you gasped to Mina. "What the heck is going on?" I think we might actually need to get some help down here," Mina said with a sweat drop look on her face. I'll go knock on the manager's door and see if we can get some assistance. Thankfully, by that time it was morning, so she left to go and get the manager while Momo kept the girl who had started all of this held down, and you went around to check and make sure everyone was okay. Tokoyami had been doing a great job in the boys' cabin and was making sure that everyone there was fine, so you really only had to make sure everyone in the girls' cabin was fine, and then once it had been noted that everyone was back in their correct forms, you relaxed. But what about you, Yin? Momo asked as she stood next to the girl on the floor. You're not completely back to human. You're the one that broke my quirk, the girl on the floor seethed angrily. I had so many cute animals to play with and become, but you ruined it, so this is what you get. Is it permanent? You asked her, completely ignoring her sulking. I don't know, she replied. No one's ever done this before. You looked at Momo. Okay, well, this is going to be something to get used to, you said somewhat numbly. Just then you heard voices outside the cabin and walked to the door and then stepped out onto the porch to see the manager and a man walking across the grass together towards your cabin. In here, you called out, and they looked up as they approached you. Got the girl in here, but we also need some quirk assistance, you added, pointing to your cat ears on your head. This is, not my final form. What do you mean? The man asked as he stepped forwards and walked up the steps towards you. I mean that I don't usually have cat ears and a tail, you said. I got these after I broke her quirk watch thing. Oh, I see, the man said with a nod. Well, the police are on their way and they'll take care of her, but I'm here to do assessments on everyone to make sure you're all okay. So I'm the person you require. Oh, good, you said with relief. Not that I don't like the cat ears, it's just my parents might have a harder time adjusting to it. Fair enough, he said with a nod. And you're the only one who hasn't returned to full human state? Yep, you nodded. Everyone else is fine as far as I can tell. The bunny, Denki, a classmate, is still a little emotionally scarred, but he's back to human form at the very least. Okay, the man said. I'll start with you first and then I'll check everyone else over as well. He said, my quirk is to be able to assess how other quirks work on people, mainly focusing on lasting effects and how to combat it. Man, that's quite an awesome and intricate quirk, you mused. Yes, I was always the nerd at school, always studying quirks, he said with a chuckle. That sounds like Midoriya, Yorika suddenly chimed in, having been listening in from the room. He has a notebook that he writes quirk notes in. Yeah, I had something that sounds pretty much the same, this man chuckled. But anyway, can you please explain to me what happened? After doing your best to explain what you remembered of the strangest night that you had ever had, the man nodded and asked if he could see the watch and the animals on it. You nodded. Hey, Momo, you called back into the cabin. Do you have the watch? Yes, I do, she called out. Here. Poor Class 1A just cannot seem to catch a break. Stay tuned for the next chapter 95 coming tomorrow. See you then.